evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. It's late and I should be going to sleep, but Papa Boris has been a sad man in the arena lately. As you can see, my money is way far down from where it used to be. I used to be above 1,000, now I'm down to 405. Part of that is I wanted to try every class once, so I tried playing the Hunter, the Warrior, and the Warlock, and I got 3 wins with each of them. I don't think I'll be playing those classes again unless I absolutely have to, because I really didn't feel comfortable playing really with any of the 3. And I had 2 arena runs with Rogue that went to 6 wins each, rather heartbreakingly. Now, this arena, which I've already paid the entry fee for, I have a choice between Mages, Shamans, or Hunter. Definitely not picking the Hunter. The Mage I thought was really cool, but I just love Shaman so much. I think it was really fun playing with the Shaman, so I'm going to play with the Shaman one more time before trying the Mage in a later run. Alright, starting things off with a fairly interesting pack. The Doomsayer is kind of interesting, but I'm not really that big of a fan. If your opponent has big creatures, this won't actually kill them, and if it has little creatures, then like, why bother? Molten Giant's cool, especially if you can get it for free, but I've actually won, I think, like, at least 2 games in recent memory, where my opponent played it for free and it didn't matter because I beat him anyway, because he had Taunt. Or, because he didn't have Taunt, because the Molten Giant doesn't have Taunt, so it doesn't, like, stop me from killing him. I'm going to grab the Big Game Hunter. At worst, it's a 4-2 for 3, which is fine, and at best, it can be absolutely game-breaking. Alright, well, it's a little sad to see 2 removal in the same pack. That reduces my odds of, getting both later on, but I think Hex is the better removal spell just because it can deal with anything. Alright, I'm not a fan of the Tauren Warrior because 2-3 is really bad for 3 mana. Darkscale Healer is fine, but Unbound Elemental is also fine, and I'd rather have a lower costing card this early in the draft than a higher costing one because I prefer to play aggressively. So let's go ahead and grab this guy. Oh, very tough call here between the Ooze and the Rockbiter weapon. So the Rockbiter weapon is kind of removal, sort of. And the Ooze is really great because it's a 3-2 for 2 and it destroys weapons. And there's lots of rogues in Arena, so having this is really nice. Ah, man, it's a really tough choice. Because, there's times when a rogue will play like Assassin's Blade or something. And you just, and if you never drafted a single Ooze, you're going to be like, I wish I had an out to this. But at the same time, the Rockbiter weapon is 1 mana, it kills pint-sized summoners and other annoying little creatures. We're going to go ahead and grab it. I think it's better to take removal than to take a creature that may or may not be great. Alright, so 3 very solid creatures here. I'm inclined to take the Dalaran Mage, although I do have a lot of 3-drops, so it's kind of a tricky call here. The Dragonlane mechanic actually works nicely with the Rockbiter weapon because it produces something that's expendable, and then I can attach the Rockbiter weapon to, if need be, to kill something out. I'm going to go for the Dalaran Mage, though. It's early enough in the draft, and I do seem to have a hard time picking up 3-drops, so I'm going to go for the 3-drop while I have it. This 4 toughness is very tricky for a lot of early game creatures to deal with, and Spell Power on a Shaman, although I don't have any spells yet, can be extremely good. A lot of things like Forked Lightning and Lightning Storm really benefit from it, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy. Alright, well, the Windspeaker has actually been really, really good for me. But I don't think he's just as generally good as the Shield Master. This 5 toughness on a 4 mana creature is just really, really great, and the taunt works incredibly well. It's just such a sweet spot of creatures. So, although the Windspeaker is cool, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Shield Master. Yeah, a Windbreaker. How many times did I call this thing a farter? That's quite unfortunate. Let's go ahead and grab that guy. Well, got a couple of 1-drops. Both of these are okay. But I'd rather have the surprising 6-drop, even though this isn't my favorite of the 6-drops in the game. Well, we got Dust Devil is just too risky. It's just too risky, man. And the Goldchar Footman I don't like, so I'll take the quality 4-drop here. Well, we got garbage and a really good weapon. This, I would rank the Stormforged Axe as being a little worse than the Flaming Axe the Warrior gets, because I think the extra point of durability is not as good as the extra point of damage, but it's a weapon and it's really fantastic, so I'm always going to take it pretty much. Okay, well, I'm not a fan of the Mana Addict. I mean, as long as you play a spell, it's kind of like a 3-3 for 2, but only kind of. And the Ancient Mage, I'm not a big fan of. I've honestly never seen this impress me. Now that I think about it. I mean, it's got the 5 health for a 4 mana thing going on, but it's just never impressed me. This is a fantastic creature, though. It's 7 damage for 7 mana, and stealth, so it's kind of like a delayed charge, almost. So it's good to have as a finishing guy. Well, interesting decisions here. These are all decent. I think Shield Master and the Ogre are a cut above the Smith. I've noticed I'd like to have like maybe 5 or 6 high-cost creatures, and I've already got 2, the Racketeer and the Ravenholt Assassin. So we're going to go ahead and grab another Shieldmaster because it is so good. But if there was anything less good than the Shieldmaster in this pack, I'd go ahead and grab the Ogre. Alright, well here's my chance to grab a Wind Speaker, although these are both very good drops here. The Panther in particular is quite nice with that stealth and trading up. But I like to have one of these in my deck. If I see another one in like a trash pack, I'll be really sad that I already took one. But I would like to have one of them. I think it makes a really big difference, especially, you know, there's really cool interactions like with the Ravenholt Assassin, for example, or any other high attacking creature really that they can make this a card that's weak in some cases but game changing in others. Okay, well we have a 3-drop. And we have the Emperor Cobra, which can deal with anything in combat, or the Manatide Totem, which draws cards. Well, it's a very tricky call. I'm tempted by the Manatide Totem, honestly, because I have 2 Sen'jin Shieldmasters to protect it, and drawing cards is really, really good. But the Emperor Cobra does sort of deal with anything, and if your opponent wants to keep anything around, he kind of has to kill the Cobra first. I think removal is a little bit better than card draw in such a fragile form, so we'll actually grab the Cobra here. But this is by no means an easy decision, and I may have regrets later, so we're going to keep an eye on this Cobra during the draft and see how good it actually is for me. Alright, so we have Dust Devil, which I think is too risky, another Unbound Elemental. I'm going to grab the Earth Shock. If this were Frost Shock, I would not take it, but I think having a Silence is good. This insta-kills Twilight Drakes and Scarlet Crusaders, and sometimes, you know, you'll just use it to pick off a creature. Sometimes you'll use it just for the silence. I think it's a very solid card. Alright, we have a choice between 2 very quality creatures, the 5/5 with stealth or the 4/5 for 4. Well, the question really is, does the extra mana worth the extra point of damage in the stealth? I think not really. Although I could use some higher costing creatures, I bet I'm going to have some in the second half of the draft, so my preference is always to go more rather than less aggressive. Let's grab this Yeti. Really lacking for 2 drops, and that's going to continue because Fort Lightning is a really good removal spell, so we'll take it. Lightning Bolt is a really good removal spell, so we'll take it. Chillwind Yeti. Ooh, now I wish I had taken the Tiger, now that I'm taking the Chillwind Yeti here. Alright, we need some expensive oh, this is a tough call here. So the Loot Hoarder is good because I need 2 drops, and I don't really have much card draw, but I also need big creatures. So, it's very difficult, because if I end up with no 2 drops, I'll be sad. But if I end up with nothing big, I'll also be sad. Tricky call here. I think I'm going to go for the Loot Hoarder because I think it's worse to have not enough early plays than to have not enough late plays in general. So we're going to go ahead and grab it here, but not without some misgivings. Lava Burst is just fantastic, so we're going to grab it here. It's a very good removal. And Fire Elemental is incredibly good. Even though I could use some more 2 drops, this vanilla beast is not as good as the Fire Elemental, which is just game-breakingly good. Alright, these are some more big dudes, but honestly I do need some 2 drops, and the Flame Tongue is quite a good one. It's just, I mean, giving Persistent +2, even in this fragile package, is just incredibly good. Alright, another Stormforged Axe, totally fine. I mean, yes, this is a creature I can play on turn 2, but I might as well just play the Axe on turn 2 and wreak havoc with my opponent's plays. Alright, so we've got Dumb Giant, weird removal, and reliable removal. Let's take the Lightning Bolt. Frost Shock I'm not a big fan of. Core Hound I've talked about I don't like because it's too fragile, but the Stormwind Champion, this is a quality dude. We're going to grab him for sure. Interesting choice here. So I can get another Flame Tongue or a Frostwolf Warlord, who is good with Shamans because you are putting those totems on the board, so it's easier for him to be big. Well, I've only got 4 expensive creatures at the moment, so as much as I love Flame Tongue totems, to make sure that I have a late game here, I'm going to pick up the Frostwolf. Although if I do see a pack with lots of other big creatures in it in my remaining 5 picks, I'm going to be quite sad that I didn't pick up a Flame Tongue totem here. Alright, we have garbage, and a pretty decent 3-drop. Not what I need, really, but it's stronger than the other cards, and it works very nicely with my Frostwolf Warlord, with my Stormwind Champion, with my Flame Tongue Totem, with my Rockbiter weapon, so there's all kinds of nice interactions that I've got with this Imp Master. Alright, well, I have to make an extremely difficult choice between the Flame Tongue Totem or the Bloodlust. I love Flame Tongue Totem so much, but Bloodlust can be a winner, especially because I have a very low curve here. So keep in mind that Bloodlust isn't just for killing your opponent outright, it can also be, you know, a way to turn your totems into dead opponent's creatures. And since my curve is so aggressive, I feel like I have to take this. Although if I see another one in my last 3 packs, I'm going to be sad that I passed on a totem. Well, we have a choice here between some more spell power or another Warlord. I don't think the Rocketeer is quite as good as either. We'll go for the Warlord here. This makes me sad I didn't take a Flame Tongue earlier, but such is the nature of Arena. I think the extra mana is worth the extra power and toughness that he has, because I do need a bit of a late game, and right now I've only got 5, creatures of that size. Well, this is quite unfortunate, because now I feel like my curve got a little bit too high, and I really wish I had taken that earlier Flame Tongue over the Frostwolf. I don't want this, because this kills all my totems. The Zero Drake is just great, so we'll grab it. Alright, so this draft I think went pretty well. What I really wish I had done is I really wish that one of these Frostwolf Warlords were a Flame Tongue totem itself. And one of the things that we're going to have to watch for is whether the Emperor Cobra is better than the Manatide totem. So let's go ahead and play our first game. Overall, I feel pretty good about this deck, and I fancy my chances of going up there. The lack of turn 2 plays and the possibility that in some games I'm going to wish I could play a Flame Tongue instead of a Frostwolf Warlord might come back to haunt me. We shall see. I do overall feel really good about this deck, so hopefully that one little card choice won't make or break me. Right, we're up against SK Gaia, I'm guessing is how that's pronounced. And I'll keep Forked Lightning around. This is kind of a neat card to have on hand. We'll keep this around. Actually, let's actually fish for an earlier drop, maybe. Shieldwood Yeti is very good, but it'd be nice to have something earlier. Man, what if this were a Flame Tongue totem? I'll never know. So, yeah, Forked Lightning is good. Oh my gosh, one of these would definitely be a Flame Tongue totem right now. That's so sad. So the nice thing about this is, as a Shaman, he's going to be putting out a totem. So if he plays a creature and a totem, then Forked Lightning may kill them both. Alright, there's the Leper Gnome. We've got 2 main options here. I can either make a totem as kind of Leper Gnome bait and save 2 damage, or I can bring this axe out. Let's just go ahead and bring it out. No reason to hold back. Take a bunch of damage, but kill off a creature and start the game off with a little bit of card advantage. Oh, this is so sad that I don't have Flame Tongue totems. I mean, I wouldn't be playing it on the next turn anyway. I first play a totem. You never want to put a naked Flame Tongue on the board. There's a Healing Totem. I'm not too bothered by it yet, so I don't particularly want to, use an axe durability on it. Let's just go ahead and put my own totem out. Ooh, Spell Power is pretty cool. So now this does 3 damage to 2 random enemy minions. That's pretty slick. Pretty slick. Oh, he got the Flame Tongue. Oh no. Alright, so I have some options here. I can play the Shield Master. He would take 2 damage from this Healing Totem, of course. Or I could make sure that the Flame Tongue dies this turn. And I think I'd actually rather make sure that it dies, because having this on the board is really infuriating. So we'll make a totem first. There's a very small chance that it will be Spell Power, but might as well go for it. And we actually got the Spell Power. Wow, that's very lucky. So now we'll do Forked Lightning. We'll save my axe durabilities, and we'll pass the turn. So next turn I can play down this Cobra. And the turn after that I can play Frostwolf or Shield Master, depending on what's going on. Alright, so here he's using a coin. That's alright. It means he's probably going to play just 1 creature. And then my Cobra can threaten to trade with it. Earth Elemental, wow, that's about as good as could be expected. Yeah. That's fantastic. Let's just go ahead and put this Cobra out. Of course, Shamans have a number of ways of dealing with this thing. He could have Lightning Bolt. Actually, that's pretty much about it. At 2 mana, Lightning Bolt. He really does want to use Lightning Bolt if he has it to kill it, because obviously losing this Earth Elemental to my Cobra would be very, very sad. But if he doesn't have Lightning Bolt, then that's a really huge swing in my favor. And I will be, I would say, comfortably in the lead, having nullified one of his biggest threats. And having, because he loses a turn here. He loses 3 out of 5 of his mana, which is huge. So, it'd be good if I can do that. Well, if he had Lightning Bolt, I'm guessing he would have surely played it by now. So my guess is he's going to just play a totem and fish for a taunt totem to try to hold my Cobra back and make me waste an axe durability to stop it. Alright, he attacked, which is of course the right play. Dealing 7 damage is probably more important than getting rid of a Spell Power totem. And there's the totemic call. Actually, even if it was a taunt totem, it doesn't matter because this guy has taunt. What am I talking about? Okay, so Bloodlust is there for the future. Let's go ahead and make this trade. So I'm really glad I actually got that Cobra rather than the Manatide, because if that were a Manatide totem instead, I'd be screwed. Do I want to use an extra ability to hit this? I mean, not really, because what's it doing right now? Let's just go ahead and make a totem. And I don't see any reason for protection, so let's put out the extra damage and pass the turn. So we're playing very much a control game here. I drew kind of all my late game cards. So I feel like if I could just keep putting down Frostwolf Warlords, there's very little that he could be putting down that's going to be a bigger deal than they are. This guy's already a 7-7 next turn. Actually an 8-8, because I can also pump out a totem. So my opponent needs some answers. Alright, so everybody's totems are going to die, which is an interesting decision on my opponent's part. If I trade in with the Yeti like this, the Yeti will die, and that will also actually make my Frostwolf Warlord smaller. So my opponent doesn't know this, but that was actually a remarkably good play. Now, I do have other options. I could play Bloodlust and attack both my totems into his, which will allow my Yeti to survive. So I'm basically trading Bloodlust for... I'm using Bloodlust to kill an Abomination is basically what I'm doing. So I have to think about this. Like if I play the Stormwind Champion, my Yeti becomes a 5-7, so it actually... Oh no, sorry, it becomes a 5-6, and so it does not survive. Well, I think I'm actually okay with this. The reason I'm okay with it is that I'm clearing out the board here. And I'm making a 5-5 and a totem. And I've got this axe still, so any of his little drops are irrelevant. And I basically have the, kind of the lead. I got to play first after the board got cleared. His advantage is that he has a life advantage, but 18 is still quite comfortable. As long as I don't let him build up a whole board of totems and, leave them alive for him to kill me with Bloodlust, I'm going to be totally fine. So I feel pretty good about this game. I've got a lot of strong plays. I do wish one of these guys were a Flame Tongue Totem. Again, I couldn't have known that I was going to see another one in the draft. I could have just as easily seen another Flame Tongue Totem in the draft, but it is a shame that I made that decision. Alright, Spell Power is a little bit scary. So he's going to deal 3 damage to both my guys. That's fine though, because one of them was a totem, so I don't particularly care that much. So I got like a little bit of a 2-for-1 advantage there. And it's likely that at least some of his cards are small creatures that just die to my axe. The reason I say that is he played that Leper Gnome on turn 1, which suggests to me that his deck is somewhat aggressive. So it's tricky here exactly how you want to make the plays. What I'd like to do is put out my 4-drops, because if I put down this guy, all I can do is another totem, and I think putting creatures out is more important. So let's put out the creatures. And I'm actually going to kill the Spell Power Totem. The reason is, I feel like I have such a dominant position in this game that I can afford to take the luxury of really playing super safe. Even if he flips a Spell Power Totem, a Lightning Storm still only does 3 to 4 damage, so it's not going to kill my team. And so I can start to do some pretty ridiculous things here, like play this guy and whack him for 7, 10, 14, 19 damage and just basically win the game. Alright, Fire Elemental is good, but it's not really good enough, unfortunately, for my opponent. So I could do a little change of plans here. I could play Stormwind Champion. This would allow my Yeti to trade with his Fire Elemental, which would hold this off for another turn. Oh yeah, I think that's actually fine. I'd rather lose the Yeti than lose the Frostwolf Warlord. So we're also going to make a totem. Ooh, that's pretty nice. So let's trade off. And oh, I messed up. I should have attacked with this guy first. That was a mistake. So yes, with Frostwolf Warlords, if you're doing a trade with one of your creatures, always attack with the Frostwolf first. Alright, so basically he's already dead on the board. Let's see what he has to try to deal with this situation. Shamans are not very good at killing boards full of large creatures. That definitely helps. He is still dead on the board, I believe. 13, 12, 15, yeah. He's done on the board. Still dead. Well, that's the game. Just to really seal it home, let's go ahead and Bloodlust up.
Time for killing.
That was a really solid game. Good game, SK Gaia. It was a pleasure playing with you, and a pleasure beating you. So I drew, like, literally every single one of my late game cards, but it was fine because the axe is really good. So notice how I only swung with that axe a single time, but it didn't matter because by having that axe in play, it stopped him from playing out his early cards. It's possible that he had a handful of like random junk and like wasn't actually holding 2 toughness creatures, but I suspect that he was being significantly held back by the fact that my axe was in play. Alright, well this is a pretty interesting hint. I don't think I actually want any of these cards right now. These are all kind of later game cards. So I'm definitely getting rid of these two. Wind Speaker, I mean, how likely am I to play something on turn 3 that I would want to Wind Speak? Not super likely. Let's go ahead and just fish for a better overall hand here with some earlier plays. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, fantastic. Fantastic. By the way, this is a good illustration of how going first is great. A lot of people, I feel like, just prefer to go second, but in most cases, basically, when I'm not playing against a rogue, I would so much rather go first than second, because I love this initiative. I put the axe on turn 2, and my opponent, you know, is in trouble. That's actually a pretty good answer, considering I am, considering that I got this axe. That's a 3 toughness creature. But this is a pretty good response, and I will actually do it. I'm going to go ahead and kill it. Because I have a guess that he's going to play another creature on turn 2. And in all likelihood, it is one that I'll be able to kill with my axe. Yep, there we go. Perfect. So because I went first, I have this awesome initiative. He spent his coin, and he played 2 cards. I played 2 cards as well, but the initiative is definitely mine here. Remove 1 durability from your opponent's weapon. Pretty good. Pretty good. I've never seen this ever do that, so good on my opponent. Now, the one problem is on turn 4, I've got an overloaded mana, so I can't play Yeti, which seriously sets me back. So this is why I prefer the Flaming Axe over the Overload Axe. I definitely would have liked to be able to play a creature there. The impact that it has on the game, that one of these Yetis is in my hand instead of on the board, is gigantic. But again, I'm kind of in the same situation as in the last game where I've got like all these giant cards to play, and I am more than happy to play them. Now this is terrifying, so that needs to die as soon as possible. What is the most surefire way to get that to die? Well, this is the biggest thing I have, but it's actually going to be a 5/5, which is the same as this. So, yeah, we're gonna do this, and just hope for the best here. Because when your opponent's minions all can charge, that is really, really awful. Like, he can, you know, kill my totem with his Warsong Commander, and then whatever else he plays can charge at me. Alright, so it's a good thing I didn't play the Warlord, because the Warlord would have died. It would be it would have been a 4/4 after the totem was killed. Alright, so I have an issue here, which is that basically he has a tremendous advantage against me right now. I could play a Frostwolf Warlord and Earthshock the Warsong in order to silence it, but the problem with that is then this 5/5 will just kill my puny little 4/4. So this is why I had that one overloaded mana is having a huge repercussion on the game. I could, of course, just accept the card disadvantage, or I could kill this and gamble that he doesn't have anything else in his hand that could charge at a 4/4 and kill it. Or at a 4/5 and kill it. That's not a very good gamble, it seems. So what I'm going to do is actually silence that thing and just take my chances. Accept the bad trade and hope that I can stabilize later. I mean, I do have really good cards to play, so if my opponent is unable to put too much pressure on, let's say because he's holding a handful of ineffective removal cards, then I can be fine. Alright, that I have some time to deal with, so I'm not too scared. If that's all he does this turn, I'll be alright with that. Alright, that's actually got... Okay, that card is now officially up to scary levels. Ugh, okay. So I can play out these 2 creatures, but how good are they really? Well, this will make an imp, And it's actually going to cause the Frothing Berserker to get to the point where he can kill the Yeti. Oh no, I've gotten too far behind. Damn it. I can't. I don't think I can win at this point. Well, the only chance I have is that guy. I can trade in and, you know, just keep playing big creatures as fast as I can. I'll have 8 mana extra, and it's enough for the Frostwolf and the Imp Master. My opponent is also making plays, but at least he's armoring up. That's a good sign. I am, however, rapidly losing health, which is a problem. Alright, this big game hunter is unfortunate because the only thing I can kill right now is actually my own Ravenholt Assassin. I could wait for this guy to grow bigger and then try to bring it down, but that seems extremely risky. My opponent might just be able to kill me, honestly. But I think that's what I have to do. I think I need to get a little bit lucky. If I kill this, what's he doing to me? 5, 7, 10, 12 damage. Ugh. I'm like almost dead, basically. Well, that's life. I mean, you gotta go for what you gotta go for. So what we'll do is we'll
Problem solved.
kill. Well, let me make this very careful. Okay, so if I do this, this is gonna become a 6/5. So that's 6, 8, 11, 13. All right, so we gotta do what you gotta do. So I need to put as much as I can onto the board. Now, I can still kill this thing if I wanted to. That would basically, compared to killing this thing, save me 2 damage, it looks like. So, I mean, you might have a Whirlwind, which would cause this to get super huge and then just kill me. Oh, nuts. Yeah, I don't think I can afford to take the risk. I think I'm actually more likely to win by killing off his biggest threat, which actually I thought, like, oh, that's not a big deal, and then it became a big deal very fast. I'm more likely to win by stabilizing than I am to win by taking gambles with this big game hunter. Now note, I have to... This guy needs to die before I can play him, or else this is the only legal target, so he will die if I play him right now. Slam to deal damage to my Yeti and draw a card. Well, that's fine, I suppose. I would have loved for him to play like tap out and play like some some huge legendary that has a lot of health, or a lot of power. But unfortunately, I was not quite that lucky. I might lose this game to the Warrior. Man, you know, it was that overloaded mana from the Lightning Bolt or from the Axe that did me in, because I put a totem on the board instead of a Yeti, and then my opponent just made too many good plays. It was a shame. Alright, he's attacking into my creatures, which is encouraging because at least it means he can't beat me now. Oh my god, he just gets to draw 5 cards. Well, my hopes of winning, I think, just went down the drain, because I have nothing in my deck that can draw cards. He's drawn 7 more cards than me, and everything I have is about to die. Alright, it looks like I should have taken a gamble, because now I just have absolutely no way of winning. Alright, Stormforged Axe. Too little, too late. I think I just have to play this. Well, I could play a totem, and then this guy, and then this, maybe? Let's see what I get. Taunt. Well, it's going to save me a little bit of life.
What you want? Elements guide me.
Oh, what a sad, sad game. Man, Overload. I've never really, like, cared that much about Overload. I was like, oh, if I need to play it, I'll play it and worry about it. But, I mean, it really mattered that game. Gore Howl. Oh, no, that's not good. That is not good. Acidic Swamp Ooze. That is what they call adding insult to injury. He's just playing it extra safe, killing my dude. Very good play. And I got nothing. Alright. That was sad. He managed to make a lot of good plays in a row, And I had that one turn where I stalled, and that was the end of the story. So anyway, I still feel really good about this deck. I mean, I can't see the curve. Let me just take a look at the curve real quick. I mean, it's got a lot of 2, 3, 4 stuff. I guess it is kind of high if you look at 4 onward, so it's not that unlikely that I'll have nothing to play on turn 3. Especially because a lot of my 3 mana things aren't really things you play on turn 3. It's really just the Dalaran Mage, Imp Master, Unbound Elemental, and the Cobra. So yeah, I guess it's not that unlikely to have a hand clogged with 4 mana and up cards. But it was unfortunate in that game how things just didn't quite work out in my favor. And that 1 mana thing that lowers weapon durability was actually, like, shockingly good. Bobo! Oh, was this the person I just played? I hope not. I don't think it is. Alright, okay, this is a little bit too much removal. Hex is really late game removal. And Lightning Bolt and Rockbiter Weapon are a bit redundant. The Yeti, I can try to get something lower. Let's just keep 1 piece of removal, you know? Hope I don't have to use that much removal early in the game and actually get some plays. That's not really what I need in my life. Okay, well, we got our late game plays all set up. Now let's see if we can hang in there long enough to actually play them. Well, the Yeti just won't stay mulliganed. Past the turn, we're going to be making a totem on turn 2 in almost all likelihood. Coining out the Imp Master doesn't seem... Actually, well no, coining out the Imp Master doesn't really make any sense because then I'll have nothing to do on turn 3. Always before you coin, ask yourself, what am I doing next turn? And if the answer is nothing, then coining is probably not worth it. Grab my mouse cursor. Grab my mouse cursor. Griffin! Aren't you supposed to eat my mouse cursor? No, my mouse cursor won't get eaten. Well, my opponent has a slow start, which probably favors me, because I also have a really slow start, and I've got really good stuff to play from now on. And that's nice. This actually does not work with spell power, so unfortunately this totem is doing currently nothing. But I've got plays on 3, 4, and 5, so my opponent, in order to do well in this game, is going to have to put on some pressure right now. Ooh, this is a very, very good sign. He seems to have a clogged hand, so he's got a bunch of late game cards, but that's okay with me. I feel like my late game will hold up against most people's late games. So I've put some damage on the board here. I've also got fodder for the Rockbiter Weapon, if I need it. That's a pretty good card, definitely. He should probably kill my Imp rather than my Totem, but either one actually doesn't end up making any difference in this particular case. Alright, ooh, Flame Tongue Totem! Hey, look at that. Let's think. If I play this, I have a total of 3 mana to work with. If I use this, I have a total of potentially 4 mana to work with. That seems good. So the question is, do I keep the Imp around, or do I keep the just use this until I take 3 damage to the face? Well, this early in the game seems like taking the damage is the better odds, or more likely to be good. So let's go ahead and give the Rockbiter Weapon to myself. Kill off this Weaponsmith. Play a coin. And I do have things I need to protect, because he's got a weapon right now. So we're going to play the Shield Master. And let's tickle his armor a little bit. And make another Imp. The Imp is a card that's really easy to underrate. You're like, oh, whatever, it's just a 1-something, and it makes these 1/1s, who cares? I'll deal with them later. But like, if you don't deal with them soon, it actually becomes a real big problem. Now this Senjin, this is a mistake I often make. I put things in the wrong place. I should really have put them on the left, so that the Flame Tongue could go between the Imps. But then again, I thought that the Imp would like go in between rather than next to the Senjin, like, or over the other side of the Senjin like that. Alright, well, he made a really good turn there, did a lot of stuff. He put out a taunt creature, put out a weapon that deals 3 damage, which is a lot, but it's not quite good enough, because I've got good stuff to do here. Now, unfortunately, if I put the Flame Tongue now, I have 3 mana left, which is a really awkward amount of mana. Really can't do anything with it. I think tempo is more important here. Next turn at 6 mana, I don't actually care about having the 6th point of mana, so this is the time to use Lightning Bolt, I think. This is also the time to put a Yeti onto the board, because it doesn't die to this axe. And let's attack. Oh, I made the same mistake again. I really should put the Yeti over here, so I can Flame Tongue the imps and use them as fodder. But on the other hand, it is getting to the point where you might play something really big, in which case I will want to Flame Tongue the Yeti and make him super huge. So next turn I might not even be playing the Flame Tongue at all. If he doesn't put any threat on the board that I need to answer, I'm just going to drop this guy. I mean, he is pretty large. It's going to be temporarily an 8-8. The Imp Master is going to die, but it makes another Imp before it goes. So it's like an 8-8, 8-9-ish, and Warriors are not good at bringing down generically huge creatures. This I'm thrilled to see because he spent 4 of his 6 mana to put a weakling onto the board and draw a card. That is fantastic news. Does he have an Execute for my Yeti? Is that the plan? That better be the plan. Oh, he's armoring up. I don't think that was a good play at all. I don't think that was a good play at all. So, yeah. Let's just play it safe. Let's trade. Take his creature off the board. Drop the giant, interacting nicely with the Imp Master here. Well, I'm in control. Warriors are really not good at dealing with an 8-8 when their board is empty. It's going to take it's going to be difficult for him to come back from this. Especially because I have removal, pump, and stealth all in my hand. I just have all the answers here. That's not going to do it for him.
My shield for Argus.
That makes it so that the Flame Tongue isn't quite as good at killing that thing, but it's not good enough, unfortunately. Now, I could just kill it, of course, with my guy. And then use a Flame Tongue. Yeah, let's actually do that. I could throw away 2 imps on this, but I'd rather just throw away 1 imp on his defender. So we'll do this. This does, of course, risk that he has Execute. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Because I still have a really commanding presence here. I messed up. I should have attacked with this imp. Then the Imp Master would have slid over and I would have dealt 2 more damage. Now, so much trickiness with this Flame Tongue totem placement. Alright, I don't think it matters anymore, but let's put it over here. Make this guy bigger. Execute still kills it just fine. But that's alright with me. Oh, he got, like, buff healed. That must be really frustrating for my opponent to see. Yeah, the way that buffing and healing works is so counterintuitive in this game. Like, I just have no idea. So anyway, it looks like this guy doesn't die to Execute anymore, which is not something I planned, but it's a pretty nice perk. I now have redonkulous damage on the board. This will let him kill the Flame Tongue, but he's still dead, of course. He doesn't know it, but I have this axe. Actually, let's see. If I put a creature down, that's going to be 16. Yeah, he's just totally dead. This is a desperation move. Obviously, replacing the old weapon isn't any good. It's just armor. Yeah, it's going to be the game. So every other creature I put on the board adds... Well, I think this is pretty clear. Let's just put this guy down. Well, I have to admit, this was a game where if one of these had been a Flame Tongue Totem instead, I don't think it would have been quite as good. I think the 2 Frost Wolf Warlords there were actually really fantastic, so that justifies, or at least makes me happy about that draft pick that I made. And the Imp Master was fantastic there. I don't remember what I picked it over, but I'm really glad I took it rather than whatever else it was. Because those little dudes, I mean, they traded with the Defender of Argus, they dealt damage, they pumped up my Warlords. They were fantastic. I'm going to need to raise my appraisal of that card.
Brawl versus.
Let the hunt begin for Doomhammer.
Well, the axe I'm keeping. This is a little bit too late. This guy is good, but I'd rather get earlier plays. Well, it's a little bit earlier. We have a 2-3-4 curve. That's totally fine. Let's eat some good luck chocolate and start this game. Ooh, removal. Perfect. This Frostress I was really hoping would be a mage, but it is a hunter. Oh my god. My opponent is going to be so angry. By the way, if you've been, you know, kind of on the fence about weapons, I hope that these games are showing why weapons are so good. That buzzard can win games all by itself, but instead, it dies. Now, one possibility would have been to use the Rockbiter weapon. Then I would avoid the overload, and then I could play this guy on the next turn instead of a totem, which is much less impressive. However, I think getting the axe out there was fine. Get a healing totem, which is nice. Healing totem is a good combo with weapons, because it heals you up after killing creatures. So now, I have extra board presence. Granted, it's a totem, but still. And I already killed 2 of his cards with 1 of mine, so I'm feeling pretty good about things. Wow, he's using his hero ability because he has nothing better to do on turn 3. Alright, I'm starting to run away with this game. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Is there any reason to lowball it and play this guy rather than this engine? No, I'm just gonna do the play that spends more of my mana, with the hope of being able to spend my mana more efficiently in the future. Alright, well, next turn I can play this guy. He'll be a 6/6. So this, you know, Shaman ability, really making a difference when it comes to these Frostwolf Warlords. Alright, so he's playing a Buzzard. My guess is he has another beast to play. Ah, yes, it's the old Buzzard-Hyena combo. Now remember, folks, always kill hyenas first. I actually lost a game because of this a while back. Always kill hyenas first, so they don't get pumped. Then kill the Buzzard. Like, if I had done this, then my Senjin would have lost an extra 2 points at health. He'd only be at 1 instead of at 3 right now. So we're going to kill the Buzzard, of course. You don't want to let those live. And we're going to play a big dude. So this game is basically going for me kind of like how it went for the Warrior who beat me, where I just have a play every turn. I picked up a little bit of momentum, and now he's going to have to get very lucky to win this game. Now, I actually made a mistake. I always mess up my positioning. I should have put the Frostwolf Warlord on the left so that my totem is in the middle. This would make Explosive Shot less effective. Now, luckily for me, he doesn't have Explosive Shot, and even more luckily for me, he puts down a 2/7, which will just die to my Frostwolf Warlord. So that's great. I don't want to use this just yet. It'd be a waste. I can put spell power on the board, but then I'm using up 1 less mana. I'm going to go ahead and make the play that uses more of my mana, because with all these expensive cards in my hand, every point of mana might matter. So that's just an 8/8. So the Frostwolf Warlord is really good. I mean, it was an 8/8 for 5 mana, you know, which is kind of ridiculous. But it would be only a 6/6 if I weren't a Shaman and didn't have a hero ability that put things onto the board. Alright, my opponent is in really serious trouble. A deadly shot nailing my guy would kind of save him a little bit, but then he'd only have 3 mana left, and I'd still have a commanding board presence. Animal Companion, solid card. Kill Command, also a very solid card. But he is in trouble. Now, you always want to attack with your Frostwolf Warlord first, except for when your opponent has a taunt, obviously, then you can't do it. Now, I could kill this thing with a Rockbiter weapon, which is an interesting proposition. Or I could hold on to my removal and just use my Yeti. Thing is, Hunters aren't that great at killing things at 1 health. I guess they have Arcane Shot. That's about it. I'm inclined to hang on to my removal. Let's just go ahead and populate the board more, because Hunters don't have any good mass removal. All they have is really Explosive Shot, and it's not as good. Not good against huge guys. Alright, let's do this. This is, by the way, very good Explosive Shot placement. I have my weaklings interspersed with my strong creatures, which makes Explosive Shot much less effective. Alright, my Yeti's getting healed up. Love Healing Totem. Such a good card. I think this game is over. I don't even know what a Hunter could draw and that would save him. Obviously Deathwing, but, you know, he wasn't at 10 mana yet. Well, that was a good game. I like this deck a lot. I have to give some mad props to the Warrior who beat me, because I feel like this is just a really good deck. Those Frostwolf Warlords are money. I have to say, I have to take it back now. I would pick that Frostwolf Warlord over the Flame Tongue Totem again, with no regrets, given how these matches have been going. Pancake the Mage. Alright.
You asked for it.
For Doomhammer.
So Hex is more of late game removal, not early game. I got this in case my opponent gets a fast start, and then turn 3 and turn 4 plays are great if I don't overload myself. This I'm not super happy about seeing, but hopefully we'll get some other good draws and get off to a nice start this game. Alright, no reason to coin this out, so we'll just hold it back and wait to see what my opponent plays. I have to admit, I only have, do I have 2 of these in my deck? I think I have 2 of these in my deck, that's why I'm seeing them so much. But I have to say, it's easier to win, much easier to win when you can play this on turn 2. Alright, so the unfortunate thing is that next turn I only have 2 mana, so I can't play the Imp Master, but I do have the coin for that very reason, and then the turn after that I have the Chillwind Yeti. Alright, that was a good play by my opponent, because it survives against my Stormwind Axe. Forked Lightning seems a little bit overkill here. What I'm going to do is kill the little 1/1. I feel like that's worth it. And we're going to go ahead actually and coin out one of these 2 cards. Keep the pressure coming. Well, let's go ahead and do this one. Reason for that is it's actually a little bit difficult to kill this. And if he hits either my Imp Master or my Imp, then he comes within range of dying to my axe. If he plays his hero ability to kill my Imp, that's fantastic. I love him spending half his mana doing that. Ah, that's really unfortunate. The reason I say that's unfortunate is if that's Mirror Entity, then he gets a good creature from me here. So am I okay with him getting a Chillwind Yeti? Not really. But the only way to play around that is to play this guy, which isn't... I mean, that's a class below the Chillwind Yeti, and I'm using less of my mana, which is just wrong in 2 different ways. I can play the Loot Hoarder, but I don't particularly want to play that either. So I'm willing to risk that that's not Mirror Entity, because if it isn't, if it's any other secret, then I'm going to be super happy that I played this Yeti right now. Whew, it isn't. Okay. So what is it? Could be Vaporize. In that case, I will want to attack with my... Ooh, if I want to kill this guy, I need to attack my Imp into there. So the question is, do I want to play around Vaporize? The answer is yes, actually. I will play around Vaporize. I'm going to kill this guy like this. I'm going to use my last Axe ability, and I'm not going to attack with my Imp Master, because I don't care that much about 1 point of damage. The little Implings I'm going to get to spawn are worth way more to me than that. Alright, he now gets to finally play a creature, because now that my Axe is all gone. This guy will trade with my Imp Master. I could make the Imp Master trade with it, interestingly enough. Or I could kill it with my Yeti. It's still a point away from dying to his hero ability, so we're going to go ahead and just do that. Now, do I still want to keep playing around that Vaporize? Yeah, we're going to keep playing around it. Let's go ahead and just kill it. And it's a question now, do I put more stuff on the board or do I put less stuff on the board? Well, it's getting to the point in a couple of turns, everything's going to die to Flame Strike except for this Yeti. So I don't necessarily want to commit too much stuff. I think I'm going to settle for playing this, which might get pumped up by Forked Lightning, and this. And I will, again, pass up on a point of damage, because I don't want to lose this guy to a Vaporize. I'd much rather lose, say, the Loot Hoarder. Now this is anyone's game. Oh, he stole my Loot Hoarder! Well, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, especially since he's killing it right away, because he's that desperate to draw a card. That's a bit unfortunate, for sure. Alright, well the good news is I got that guy, that's interesting. Well, no, I think I need to go on the aggressive here. Let's just kill this guy off. Let's test for Vaporize. Please be Vaporize. Don't be Ice Block or Ice Armor. It's Ice Barrier. Ah, he gets a lot of life, so it's going to be hard to race him down. And he's taunting me. It's not very good sportsmanship. Okay, so if I put this guy down, it's going to die to Flame Strike, but here is the thing. That's his entire turn playing Flame Strike, and I got stuff to do. I got this guy and this guy coming up right after it. Oh no, I'll be at 7 mana. Well, I'll have this guy and a totem coming up right after it. So I'm okay with actually losing this to a Flame Strike, because there's no guarantee that he actually has Flame Strike. Oh, I've already attacked. Oh, okay. Alright, so if he has Flame Strike, then he kills everything. But this Imp Master did the job. This thing was really lost. And he has the Flame Strike. Okay, so again, you have to expect your opponent to have these things. But it's totally fine, because I still have the initiative here. I can play the Chill Wind Yeti. I can make a totem. Got some board presence here. Start healing a little bit of life. And next turn I've got a really strong play. I can Flame Tongue Totem and Wind Fury, and this is 12 damage coming at him. So he'd better have something good. This is not that good at all. This is terrible. So I'm really happy to see that. That is also not that good. He's really desperate if he's making that play. So yeah, he had 8 mana and the turn, and he just didn't do anything good with it. This was a complete waste because my healing totem is going to heal everything that just did. That's funny. And all the pumping on the Mana Addict, it doesn't stick around. I think my opponent missed the fact that that is just this turn and not permanent. Now, the question is, do I swing my Flame Tongue into this? No, I don't think I want to do that. See, I can play Flame Tongue here, throw away my healing totem, use the Stormforged Axe to kill it. Nah, that doesn't seem worth it. Let's just go ahead and do this. We're going to do that. Going to put the Flame Tongue here. We're going to just... man, I'm tempted to throw away... Actually, that Arcane Explosion was good because it stops me from attacking in. I do kind of want to keep my healing totem, but being able to hit him for an extra 6 damage right now seems pretty good. Yeah, let's actually do this. So I am setting myself up for another Flame Strike, but again, that would be almost all of his mana for the turn, and I still have things to do. I can still play the Senjin, I can still play this. Okay, so he didn't have the Flame Strike. He made a sheep, and he spent almost all of his mana for the turn killing that guy. 6 of his 7 mana dealing with the Yeti. Alright, Arcane Missiles is hilariously irrelevant. So that's good to see. And he's got nothing else. Alright, that's fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and put this guy down. Put a totem down. Spell power could be good, actually. Do I want to hit him? No, I don't think I want to hit him. So basically, if he can't wipe my board now, he's really in trouble, because I've actually got just 4 damage coming at him. Ooh, that's good to see. Another Polymorph. Well, that definitely saves him a little bit, but not a whole lot. Oh, if only there was a way that I could pump this guy's attack by 1. That is a shame. Such a shame. Okay, so I can kill it very easily. We're going to have the conga line of totems. And let's hit him for 5. See, this deals 3 damage. Down to 4. Yeah, he's actually dead next turn. Right, I don't actually want to put this on the board because it does die to Flame Strike. Although if he plays Flame Strike and... Yeah, if he plays Flame Strike and a Taunter, I'm actually in trouble. I can't finish him off. I could have played this before I sacrificed my Spell Totem into him, which might have been a more precise play. But that's fine. I'll just keep this on the board and see if he has an answer to Weapon plus Lightning Bolt. He needs to throw a Taunter down. Alright, that actually doesn't stop me from attacking him myself. That is more mana that is not stopping him from dying. That, if it's Ice Block, will save him, I guess. But this is pretty comical. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and see if he's got the Ice Block. Always deal the less damage last. So let me actually see if I get a Spell Power Totem. Nope, healing is good, though. So I'm going to first deal 3 damage, then I'm going to deal 2 damage. Nope, that was not Ice Block.
Well played.
So that was it. Ice Block or Ice Barrier would have delayed me from winning, but he only had 1 card in hand, so it was just delaying the inevitable. Yeah, that Mage deck didn't have a very good late game, so even though he Flame Struck me twice, he got to learn the very, I'm sure, unpleasant feeling of what it's like to Flame Strike someone twice and still lose. Now, what's really funny is priests have a very poor reputation in the arena, but I have actually lost quite a few games against priests. Every time I've seen one, I've lost, I think. I'm not sure if I've ever even beaten a priest. So I don't want to keep this around. Early in the game, there are some things you want to silence, like Pint-Sized Summoners. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Maybe like a Lightwell. I'll keep it around. But Bloodlust isn't that great, and I'll fish for an earlier drop than at Chillwind Yeti. Alright, this is actually not a great hand, because these are both removal. Oh, not Bloodlust. Okay, this is a very, very, very poor draw. I'm extremely slow here. I've got this on turn 3, and that's like the first play I can make at the moment. Other than, of course, the usual totem. Right, at least my opponent's not doing anything super aggressive. Oh, that's nice. I am going to put this down. There's a risk that he has an ooze, and that will be just a disaster, but there aren't that many oozes around, and he might not even draw it. So this will stop him from playing early creatures, and allow me to have a little bit of security. There are disadvantages that I don't get to play this on turn 3, so that is a price I pay. But I'd rather get this weapon out here. Alright, so he's just throwing that down to the meat grinder. Alright, fair enough. So I can't play this yet, which is unfortunate, but I do get to play a totem. Spell power actually makes Earthshock pretty good. This guy makes Earthshock really good. Holy cow, I can deal 3 damage for a mana, and 5 damage total if I need to, which my opponent does not know about. Alright, he's using his coin, that's great. What is he going to coin out that will die? That is absolutely going to die. There is a 0% chance I'm going to keep that around. So definitely a little bit lucky that I pulled the spell totem, otherwise I wouldn't be able to kill this thing. At the same time though, silencing it, and waiting an extra turn before I can kill it would have just been fine, it still would have been okay. My curve is really frustrating me here because I have 2 6-drops and 5 mana next turn. So I'm going to have a really weak turn. I'm going to have like a totem and maybe a hex if my opponent obliges by putting out something that's worth hexing. Well, I was actually going to hex this guy because he doesn't get killed by my axe plus this, but instead I am actually going to play Frostwolf Warlord. 6/6 on my turn. It's going to be 7/7 on my next turn. Is really, really good. So this is a critical moment in the game for my opponent. He has to make a big play right here, or else he stands a very good chance of losing. Alright, that's very encouraging. If he's just healing a guy that's going to die anyway, then that's a very good sign. That's delaying me for a little bit, but not very much. Alright, that's fantastic. So, let's see. This guy plus my axe kills him. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. Let's put down my charger. Let's do this, and this. That is a really bad card. Now, my opponent might not have had anything better to play, so I don't want to criticize him, but it's just, it wasn't a very good card in that circumstance, or really any circumstance. So this guy's big, and he's only going to get bigger. Can I kill him with Bloodlust next turn, actually? Well, let me see what he plays first before getting too far ahead of myself. But let's suppose he doesn't play any taunts. I've got 5, 12, 14 damage. Ah, he's freezing me. Well, at least that's not a permanent solution, so I can't complain. Now let's just do a quick check. I have 5, 7, plus Bloodlust is 9. That's 16 damage. Not quite enough. I can kill this in a number of different ways. I can trade my 5 guy into it. I can, of course, hex it, but I think I'd rather save the hex for something else. Or I can Fire Elemental plus this dude. Well, I think this dude's done his job already, so let's save the hex for the more serious problem that might come up later. And play this, and pass the turn. So next turn, when this guy is no longer frozen, he's going to be just absolutely gigantic. Because I get to play this thing down, and like a totem. I might be able to also win with Bloodlust. Let's see, totem plus Bloodlust. This is an 8, so it's 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 6 is 18. Oh, yeah. Bloodlust will do the kill. So, yeah, next turn is really good. Let's see. Let's say he plays 1 Taunter. I can Hex and Bloodlust. That's going to be 12, 18. Yeah. And then plus 9 is 27. I have 7 spare points of damage. So my opponent's in trouble. If he plays 1 Taunter, he still loses. He has to play 2 Taunters in order to not die next turn to Hex and Bloodlust. God, this Frostwolf Warlord is amazing! I think I need to up this card's evaluation from, like, pretty good to, oh my god, amazing. Holy Nova does let him survive, actually, just because it made the Frostwolf weaker, and Bloodlust now does not kill him. So let's see, this is actually going to be, let's see, after I play, let's say, Totem, and Bloodlust. This will be 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. That's not enough. So I'm going to play this. No, actually, I'm going to play this. You can't deal with that.
I hear you got a problem.
I think that's a very strong play. He really just can't deal with this at all, except for a Mass Dispel, but that's going to be half of his mana, and then he can't do anything with it. I don't think priests have a way to kill this for 4 mana. Priests are one of those classes like Paladins, don't have a great way to deal with big creatures. The really good classes are Mage with Polymorph, and Shaman with Hex, and Rogue with Assassinate. Then you've got Warriors, kind of, with Execute, which is a terrible card, but at least it gives you like a Desperation out in some cases. Right, good game. And then Priests, you know, when you play something huge against a Priest, unless it's getting mind controlled, you know... Oh, maybe that's what he was trying to do, is mind control it. But yeah, he was dead on the board after spending all his mana to mind control. Fun fact, that's actually why I'm not like a huge fan of mind control. It's a great card, but it's not a card that like gets me excited the way that like Flame Strike does, or Hex, or something like that. Because you're spending like all your mana for the turn, and if you're dead, then you're still dead after your mind control. Alright, well, this is interesting. I'm gonna... Oh, this guy is so good. I actually just want to keep him because he's so good. What I'm actually going to do on turn 1, probably, is coin out the axe. And the reason for that is, if I play it on turn 2, then I can't play this on turn 3. And I think the tempo gain is worth spending the coin on. So sometimes the rule of thumb about, you know, what would you do next turn doesn't actually apply. Basically what I'm really doing is getting the overload out of the way when it doesn't hurt me. Alright, now this is interesting because now I kind of want to hang on to this. So if I coin out the axe now, he might just keep this guy in stealth, is the problem. Then I can't play a totem next turn, you know? So then I've essentially achieved nothing. It's a tough call, but I'm going to actually pass the turn here. And then see if I can get him to attack me with this guy so I can actually kill it and start getting card advantage. Alright, looks like he's going to do the attack. Fantastic. Alright, so it's a shame I'm not going to be able to play my Dalaran Mage next turn, but I'm going to kill the Wolf first, because that, of course, is the higher quality creature. And I could still play the Mage. I could use my coin to play the Mage next turn, so maybe my whole plan was faulty to begin with, since I can use the coin to play the Mage later anyway. Maybe I was just not evaluating that correctly. Feeling pretty good about my chances here. Between Lightning Bolt, Forked Lightning, and this Axe, I can kill just about any of his early plays if I need to. And if he wastes his turn doing nothing, like using his hero ability, then I can just calmly coin out this Mage. I am going a little bit low on life, and that's something I'm definitely aware of, but I think it's worth it at the moment. Now, the Loot Hoarder is an interesting play. It lets me save the coin. Yeah, I think I'll actually put the Loot Hoarder down. Save the coin. This is a great thing to play down, because if he kills it, I draw a card. And I could use some cards here, since it'd be nice to have some like 4 mana / 5 mana plays as we approach the mid game here. Wrath. Alright, so he's killing it with Wrath rather than his hero ability so that he draws a card, which is a fair play. I now have lots of removal, and he's got nothing to put on the board, which is totally fine. It would be nice if I could fish out a healing totem at some point. But I think the best play is just to play this Mage. Now, is it worth coining to get a totem out? I don't think it is. I think it's actually better to save the coin so I can Fire Elemental next turn. If he plays like a 3 toughness creature to, you know, dodge my axe, and I can kill it with the Fire Elemental and have a 6/5 on the board and a 2/4 on the board on turn 5, that would be pretty fantastic. Right, that is actually a little bit unfortunate because even Fire Elemental plus axe does not kill this thing. So I have to think very carefully what the right play here is. I could, of course, Lightning Bolt and Axe. Then what am I doing next turn? Oh, this is actually great. I think I'm going to do that. Because this deals 4 damage because of spell power. It's a little bit scary going down this low on life, but I think it's worth it to use up my Axe for a good cause. And let's start the Frost Wolf. So the situation here is my guy has 4 health rather than 1 health, which is what he would have had if I had saved my Axe and saved my health. As a result, I'm 3 health down, and which is a little bit precarious, you know, definitely at this point in the game. The other hand, druids are not mages, they're not that good at burning you down, and I feel like with this board presence, I'm just in great shape, especially when you consider that next turn, I can play Fire Elemental. See, it appears that he has a Starfall, which will kill it, or a Starfire, yep, so he gets to kill it and draw a card. So it's unfortunate that I couldn't pump it up just a little bit, but that was his entire turn. Now, I'm actually in a... Oh no! I messed up. I shouldn't have used... Maybe I should have thought about that a little bit harder. Because I have 5 mana. This is the moment where I could win the game if I pressed my advantage. And all I can play is a totem. Ouch! That is a shame. That overload on the lightning bolt might have been a little bit hasty. Might have been better just to play my creature and not get overloaded. Yikes. So I think I made a mistake there, definitely. I should have just coined out the elemental, dealt 3 damage to it, and called it a day. This is encouraging, because this is a terrible card. So I'm glad that he doesn't seem to have any good plays. What I need is Earthshock. Earthshock is what I do not have. That is a shame. Alright, at least I can heal up a little bit. Oh, no Earthshock. Well, I'm going to have to hex it. Yeah, I have to hex it. And I'm not sure actually who it's correct to hit. This guy or this guy. Let's just go ahead and hit that thing. And heal a little bit. Alright, so I've got good plays coming up. I can deal 3 damage to something that he plays. Forked Lightning, 3 damage to 2 random minions could be really solid, and 4 damage could be really solid, so we'll see what he does. It's getting to the point now where I'd love to have my Earthshock as a silencer. I don't have any other silence in the deck. But even if I don't, this is a really strong play, and I can always Bloodlust as a sort of quasi-removal if I desperately need to kill something that he's played, like, say, an Ironbark Protector. It appears that he does not have an Ironbark Protector, or else I'm sure that's what he would have played for his 8 mana. Oh, never mind! He's got it. Alright, well, I stand corrected. Alright, Flametongue Totem could be helpful here for killing this thing. Let's see. Oh, because the Healing Totem's in the middle, it makes it harder for me to get this guy down. See, I would have 5 plus 2. Not enough. Well, I see, I could do 4 plus 4. I think that is the solution. Yeah, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do this. See, is there any better way to do it? I would like to keep the Senjin, obviously, rather than this dude. If I put it here, the Senjin can kill that in one blow, but... Yeah, let's actually just go for it like this. I do want to keep that Healing Totem around is the thing. So we're gonna... Nope, nope, nope! Oh, that would have been a terrible mistake. We want to do it first while I have the spell power. Then we're gonna do this. And this. And this. And unfortunately, again, my curve is killing me here. I'm 1 mana short of making a good play. Maybe I should have... If I knew that I was going to totem eventually, I should have totemed first, because this spell power could have let me kill the guy a little bit more easily. Alright, so... I stabilized after he played a big guy, but maybe I didn't pick the best way of doing it. Perhaps I should have used this elemental to have another creature on the board, and then killed him, you know, with that and the Flametongue Totem, sacrificing my healer. But I kind of want to keep this Healing Totem away, because if I feel like if I can get up to high enough health, I'll have a really big advantage in this game. One downside of the way I did it is that the Flametongue Totem ended up off to the side, which is a bit of a shame. He has Wrath for the Flametongue Totem anyway. Alright, that's life. And he's got a Tiger. Alright. We'll have to think carefully. The Yeti's bad against the Tiger, but Senjin is kind of in the way at the moment anyway. So this seems like a pretty good way to deal with that guy. Do I want to use this maybe? No, I think I'd actually rather hold that in reserve and play Mr. Stealth.
I hear you got a problem.
Because this is a trade I'm actually okay with. Alright, yeah, that's all I can do. Let's pass the turn. Heal up a little bit. Obviously, this extra health doesn't make any difference, but the health on my hero does. So, my opponent has the play, but he needs to do something good, because we're equal on cards, and I'm ahead on boards. Whenever you play a card, Summon a Flame of Azeroth. Alright. Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. That tiger got healed up. Okay. Well, let's think here. This could be the time to Forked Lightning. Because if I'm lucky and I hit that guy, then I don't have to trade my dude into him. Alternate plan is to use Bloodlust as quasi-removal. That'd be another way. So really, I've got 50-50 odds of hitting this guy. I could kill something with him first, like this flame, in order to increase the odds. Or I could play this guy, kill that thing, then I have a 66% chance. Yeah, actually, we're going to do it that way, I think. Let's play this. Kill this. And let's now play Forked Lightning. Alright, that's perfect. If I had held off on this, I could have killed that thing. But then again, the other thing would have been there, so it might have gotten hit. Okay. I did this totally wrong! Oh no, he has 2 health left. Oh my god, what did I just do? What did I just do? Oops. Shit. Crap. Oh my god, that is such a bad mistake. Could have cost me the game. Yeah, I think I have to do this. Oh my god. I cannot believe how badly I misplayed that. I needed to just go for the 50-50 shot on Forked Lightning and then use Bloodlust in case Forked Lightning missed my target. I forgot that I had to use this to finish that thing off. Wow, that was terrible play on my part. Okay, well that could cost me the game for sure. That was a very bad mismanagement of the situation. Zero Drake, very solid card to have here because it replaces itself and it's a big body on the board at a time of the game when big bodies are needed. I have pretty much nothing except for totems. Oh man, the crazy mistakes I make sometimes. He's gonna clear out my healing totem, which is a very good play. Nuts. Nuts and more nuts. That seems like a very good trade to me as well. Oh my god, how did I do that so badly? Must be because it's just late. I'm not thinking at my best. So he cleared out my board, still has 3 mana with which to do things. That's a pretty good card. Making a Panther out of it, alright. Oh, I mean, it's not over yet by any means. Let's try to fill up the board as much as we can. So I can play these 2 things. Yeah, that seems fine. Oh, I'm overloaded. Jesus Christ. Alright. I am just forgetting all kinds of stuff. Oh, God. Now he's just going to die to the Cobra. What is wrong with me today? Jesus. I should have clearly played these 2 things out. Yeah. That's good. Or, note to self. Overload is a thing that happens. Oh, man. I feel like I threw that game away. Yeah, so on that turn where he had 4 creatures, I should have Forked Lightning first. If I got lucky and hit his Azeroth thing, then I should have played the Fire Elemental and killed it. And then I would have had a pretty good chance of winning. Instead, we're facing this situation, which is fantastic. This Cobra can kill my guy, and that... Oh, he's choosing not to kill my guy. I guess he's very confident. Which makes a certain kind of sense, I suppose. Bloodlust is useless. Let's see here. If I kill this and I use the Stormforged Axe and kill that, I'll be at 11, 5, 9, 12. Yep. Alright, well, yeah, I'm just losing this, it looks like. Alright, Healing Totem. Woo! Let's see if he forgets that he can kill me. 9 plus 5 is 14 damage exactly. 16 with his hero power. Okay, that's enough of that. And good game, Mr. Blackstone. Yeah, I could have won. I mean, Sonars was a good play, Lyra Jenkins was a good play, so I might have lost anyway, but I could have potentially won that game if I had gotten lucky, or if I had played correctly and gotten lucky. See, this is what I mean. Good players get lucky more often than bad players. I was a bad player there, so I didn't even give myself a chance to get lucky. I had a 0% chance of the luck going in my favor, and as a result, I lost. Azunian, the rogue. Well, you really can't complain about playing a rogue. You're going to face a rogue at some point in the arena. And I'm going first, which is great. So we're going to throw away the Bloodlust, but keep the Lightning Bolt to kill a Defias Ringleader, I think. And that will have me overloaded on turn 2, so I can't play the Axe. But that, as they say, is life. Seems to not have... Whoa, not have anything. Well, that's pleasant news. I think... Yeah, I think I want to be overloaded next turn, because I have nothing for 3 mana anyway. So we'll play the Axe now. For some board control. And then next turn, without any 3-drops, we're going to just play the Loot Hoarder. Alright, he's putting out a dagger, which is great news. I don't see much benefit in holding this Loot Hoarder. So, well, let me think. Is there a benefit to holding a Loot Hoarder? I mean, I can wait for a time when he doesn't have a weapon out, so we'll at least have to spend 2 mana to kill it. I think I'm actually just going to play a Totem here. He either has to spend 2/3 of his mana killing it, or he doesn't kill it and I get a Totem on the board, which survives a dagger hit, unlike my Loot Hoarder, which does not. This is a lot of overload, so I don't really want to use it. Alright, he seems to have a slow start, as do I, which is fine. Except that I don't actually have a lot of my late game cards here. Ah, there we go. He did that thing. Okay. Well, I think I'm happy killing this with Lightning Bolt, because I have nothing for 5 mana next turn anyways. And also Earth Shock, get it down to 2 and finish it off with my Axe. How badly... Well, the problem is if I Earth Shock and he plays like a Twilight Drake later, I'll feel so silly. And I really... If I'm going to get overloaded, like, next turn really is the time. So this seems like the thing to do here. Alright, let's kill this thing. And again, I don't want to play Loot Hoarder because he still has a dagger, so we're going to just Totem up. Healing Totem, not useful at the moment, but it's a good thing to have in general. And he's used his coin. So I traded Lightning Bolt and a mana for a coin and his thing. Spending half of his mana daggering up, which is fine. He's going to kill off my Totem. Does he have anything else to do? Nope. Alright, so this is a very slow and steady game here. Let's make him pay mana if he wants to kill my Loot Hoarder. Oh, look, he can't even kill it with his dagger. Haha! Value Loot Hoarder. So now I can deal up to 4 damage to something that he plays, but 5 mana is the point at which he starts to get good stuff. Luckily, even though I don't have my late game plays here, I do have stuff to buy time. I mean, Lava Burst will kill just about anything. Hex, obviously, will kill just about anything. I really kind of have like a handful of removal. But I'm alright with that, because this is a pretty good late game deck, so if that's how it is, that's how it is. Okay. Well, options for how to kill him here. I can do like this, and that plus my weapon will kill this thing. I don't want to overload myself now, because I actually do want to play this thing next turn, so overloading now is not the time. I could hex it, but I feel like there are scarier threats to hex. Is there any way that I can use it on this? That'd be 3... Nope, that's not enough damage. So we're actually going to go ahead and Rock Bite of the Loot Hoarder. It's not really card disadvantage, because the Loot Hoarder draws a card. Big Game Hunter. Interesting. Ah, is it worth it to play this down when it has no targets? I mean, the Rogue could play something really huge that will make me regret playing it, but I also have Hex and Lava Burst. So, yeah, I'm actually just going to play this. I think it's the right call, because that lets me also play a Totem, and then this guy next turn comes out hitting really hard. I mean, I'm dealing 5, 7, 8 damage to him next turn just by dropping this guy down. So this is a key moment for my opponent. He's got to do something here that essentially will forces me to use removal instead of playing my creature, because I feel like once I play this, he's in trouble. Backstab! Of course! Alright. This is actually a very irritating card to deal with. That makes it a little bit better, I think. I can trade my totems in for it. Let's see. 3 plus 2 is... Ah, it's 5! Not quite. Yeah, 3 plus 2 is 5 damage. So I'm going to have to whack it with my thing. And then, I still have a Naked Flame Tongue on the board, and I don't have any other creatures to play. Other than a totem. Brrr. Okay, what are my other options? I could play this. Throw my totems away. That will deal 2 plus 1 is 3, then my axe isn't quite enough to kill it. Unless I also use Earth Shock. Or I could just hex it. Turn it into a frog, kill the frog, Flame Tongue. It seems like the more aggressive play. What if he plays something big next turn that needs to be hexed? Well, I still have Lava Burst, which does a lot of damage. It's a tricky call. Oh my lord. Alright, well, let's go with the hex. Nope. Alright, we're going for the totem beatdown here. Not 100% sure that was the correct play, to be perfectly honest, but that's the play I made, so let's see what he's got. I mean, I can do like 6 damage with spells here. Plus, I got the Totem Conga that can beat down. Ah, that's pretty good. Alright, that's unfortunate. Shiv. God, I hate Shiv. So this is a almost totally useless card at the moment. Dagger Mastery, alright. There's nothing better to do, that's totally fine. Dagger doesn't do anything, so he's wise, not even bothering to swing. Okay, well, I'd like this guy to die, so let's play this, I think, is a good move to do.
Behold the might of Stormwind.
And let's use up my final axe hit. And I'll use my taunt totem or my flame. Well, the flame tongue is just really useless here, so we'll just use it. And then beat down for 2 damage. So the story here is that I feel like I have the advantage, especially because now he can't dagger kill any of my totems, but he's got such a handful of cards like that, you know, you can't count him out. Right, Imp Master, not the scariest thing here, although it can definitely become scary, for sure. I have my own Imp Master, and I can actually play it and my Rocketeer. Alright, let's think about what I want to do here. I think I actually want to kill his Imp Master. I think it's worth it to do that. Sure, there's like 1,000,000,001 different ways that this Rocketeer can now be finished off, but that's fine. He's already used a Shiv. I do have a Taunter in the way, so it's not like, he just healed back up to 2, so it's not like trivial to kill him. My opponent will need like another Backstab, or another Shiv, or something or other. Sprint. Alright, so he's doing an interesting call. He's spending most of his mana to get overwhelming card advantage. So that means that if I can't put good pressure on him, he'll probably win. And that actually may very well be what happens because I only have 7 damage on the board. So I'm only bringing him down to 16. Now, I do have 5 damage in my back pocket here. But that may not be enough to cut it. If I really would like to have a creature to play, like one of those Frostwolf Warlord... Oh, Backstab! No! Backstab. Honest to God. Alright. Well, now he's probably going to win this game. This is a ridiculous amount of cards. Let's no reason to give up fighting. Imp Master, Yeti, Totem, another Taunt, and I heal up. Oh, God. Well, what has he got? 8 cards in his hand? To my 3. Although I have like 5 things on the board. Just a lot of this stuff is so weak, you know. Alright. It's not the end of the world.
Ready, sir.
My Yeti can take care of that. Assassin's Blade is a little bit more troubling, but I do have a big life total advantage, so pretty much all he can do is just kill my totems. Not the most terrible thing in the world. Emperor Cobra is a nice thing to have. I really would like one of my big things, but I can't always get what you want, I suppose. Let's actually kill this. Play a totem. Taunter's pretty good. Let's kill that. Just try to stay in control here as much as I can. So I'm not spending very much mana, which is unfortunate. All this removal is, it would be nice if I could top deck it later, rather than having it now. Alright, if he can kill this totem, well then he can kill the Yeti just as well. Let's see what he's got. It's actually fine. I mean, it's not the scariest thing in the world, someone could play at 10 mana.
for this.
That is a little bit more scary, for sure. Especially because I have to break past this guy if I want to attack that. Might have to Lava Burst the Taunter and then use the Cobra on this Archmage. If he's thinking, it probably means he has a backstab and is wondering whether 3 damage is worth killing the Imp Master with. The answer is yes. Oh, he also had to attack first. I see. Alright, he didn't have a backstab. That's good news. Okay, well, what I'm doing doesn't use up all my mana, so we are going to draw a card first, because you always want to draw cards first. Finally got a nice big creature. Ooh, that's really good. But not as good as... Hang on a second. Can I actually kill him? I mean, I don't think I can, but just to check. Clear away the Taunter. 4, 5, 6, 12 damage. I think it's better to clear away the Taunter here. Because the thing is, now I have a bit of an insurance policy. I now know that if he taps out to, like, play a gigantic creature, I can suicide one of my imps and then play my own gigantic creature. He's going to be, like, maximum size here, 10-10. But yeah, that's not the end of the world. Whatever, man. I'm totally fine. This thing? Oh, this is irrelevant. I don't even care about this thing. Kill my Taunt Totem. Alright, no problem. Hungry. Do I have any Murlocs in play? Wow, okay. Maybe this rogue just doesn't have a very good deck? I don't know. Okay, well, I think one obvious play is this one. I mean, taking that guy out seems pretty good. So he's silenced and then gets dealt 2 damage. Let's do a quick check to see if I can win. I do have a Lightning Bolt here. It deals 4 damage thanks to spell power, so I can deal 1, 5, 6, 10, 11 damage? Oh my gosh. Plus 4 is 15. Well, let's do this. If I hit a spell power totem, I win. If I don't, I can still play the Frostwolf. No, I can't, because the board is full. Oh my god. Well, I have a 1 in 3 chance of winning, which isn't good enough. So, it's unfortunate. Is it worth it to play Forked Lightning here? Man. God darn it. Because oh no, hang on. If I play a totem and it's not spell power, I can suicide something. Alright, so that's not spell power, but it's okay. I'm doing this trade. Playing this doodaloo. Okay. There we go. There's no room for the new imp, but this guy still heals up. Healing Totem plus Imp Master is a great combo. Okay, so even if he has Blade Flurry, then he's in big trouble because this guy will not die. He'll just go back to being a 4/4. So he can trade my creatures into it, but he's spent... Well, actually, if he has Blade Flurry, he could come back, because that's only 3 mana. So I did kind of set myself up for that, but luckily he appears not to have had it, or else he wouldn't have done that. I've got this 9/9 that's basically going to kill him. Oh, that daggers. Alright, oh, actually he's killing enough of my things now that this guy's dropping pretty fast. Okay, well, I think actually Bloodlust will do the job here. Yeah. Let's just Fork Lightning. Oh, that's not the right targets. But let's just throw this. And I don't even need Bloodlust, never mind. Alright. This has been a good day. I beat a mage who had 2 flame strikes. I beat a rogue who played sprint. I'm very confident and comfortable with this deck, but this Frostwolf Warlord, I'm actually kind of ashamed that I was like really torn between it or a Flame Tongue Totem. Not that Flame Tongue Totems aren't great, and not that, you know, curve considerations aren't important, but my lord, that was a really clutch creature. Interesting seeing a Warlock this late in the arena. You have to assume he's got a very good deck. So removal is good. This is a decent turn 3 play. That's obviously something to hopefully draw later. Alright, this is an improvement. So I can, like, you know, turn 2 or turn 1, and then totem, and then start dropping creatures on the board, which is great. Let's see if he has any turn 1 plays. I'm alright with it if he does, because I don't have anything to do on turn 2. So if I have to Rockbite or Weapon and kill his turn 1 coin play, I'm fine with that. Alright, Flame Tongue Totem. Kids, never put a naked Flame Tongue Totem on the board. Just don't do it. I know you're going to be tempted to do it, but instead of doing it, don't. That's the rule here. I might not even play it next turn, to be honest, because it's still really fragile. I mean, what is this, like, going to hit for 3? Whatever. Alright, looks like the YOLO Bomber, you know, does his job. I don't want to play the Cobra here because it trades with the YOLO Bomber. I don't want to overload myself either because I have a really important play to make. So what we're going to do is Rock Biter Weapon myself to remove his early play. Gonna make a totem. Gotta pass the turn. So next turn, we got good things to look forward to. We got this Yeti. Because he played something that needed to be killed, I couldn't play a Cobra, so I don't have a Cobra on the board. So we got a nice bit of tempo out of that Bomber, even if it didn't stick around. What?
One shot.
What? Corruption on my Taunt Totem? Oh my lord, I don't think this person's a good player. I really don't. I mean, Jesus. Corruption on a Taunt Totem. Okay, so I could play Flame Tongue Totem and have this Taunt Totem kill the Archer. Give it a last hurrah, but then I'm not playing my Yeti down. I think it's actually better to just let the Totem go and put down a Yeti. He also played an Elven Archer on a naked board and just dealt the damage to my face. And he's a Warlock, and Warlocks aren't that good in the arena, so I really don't think this is a person who has 5 wins. It just doesn't seem very likely. Ugh, Corruption. Guys, don't play with Corruption. It's a bad card. It's a really, really bad card. Okay, well, let's see what my Yeti can do. Apparently it's kill his Knife Juggler. Folks, okay, so this is a very illustrative game on so many levels. When you play Corruption on a creature, your opponent knows that creature is dead, so don't give it productive things to do, like kill your extremely good creatures. Now, Frostwolf Warlord would be a little bit of a risky play here, simply because it would be a 4/4 after this guy dies, and then Shadow Bolt kills it. So this is one of those things you always want to play around your opponent's removal. So what I'm going to do is just play a creature that also dies to Shadow Bolt but isn't as valuable, and put an extra totem on the board. Putting totems on the board when you're a Shaman becomes a lot more valuable when you have a Flame Tongue in your hand, because any body on the board can become useful if you attach damage to it. If he does this, that's a mistake. Okay, that's a mistake because I'm clearly going to trade for it anyway, so there's no reason to do the trade for me, especially because he's played a taunt afterwards, and I couldn't kill his Elven Archer, so he needed to just attack me. I think this opponent is very, very instructive for all of us here. So is this the turn to play a Frostwolf? Well, it's a 5/5, which is better than a 4/4. My alternatives aren't that great. This guy can deal 3 damage, but still dies. This can deal 4 damage, so I could actually kill it. And then play Frostwolf. Yeah, that actually seems like a good play. Next turn at 7 mana, all I want to do is play this guy anyway. Or these two. Or no, or actually, yeah, I don't want to play those two, but I could play like this and the Windspeaker. Flame Tongue plus Windspeaker is a really good combo, so I'm actually going to do it. Gonna hit him like this. 4 damage. Do this. Play the Frostwolf. He could still kill it. He could have a Mortal Coil and a Shadow Bolt in his hand. Mortal Coil will kill this. Then Shadow Bolt would kill this. I'm willing to take that risk. That would be almost all of his mana for the turn anyway. That I'm really happy to see because my guy can just overpower him. I don't think I even need the Hex, honestly. Flame Tongue would actually allow me to trade. Yeah, that's really good. Alright, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. We're going to clear away the Taunter. That guy more than did his job. Now, I couldn't attack with him first because there was a taunt in the way, so it wasn't a mistake. And then that. Now I messed up. Oh my god, I always mess up my positioning. This guy should have been placed over here, so he'd be a 5/3. But my opponent is really, really dead. So I'm a 4th. Okay, so now he's alive again. And now he's still alive. Okay. Fair enough. That was totally fine. Ooh, I'm 1 mana short of killing my opponent. If I Hex, it's a taunt. So I can't kill him that way. This seems good though. Let's just destroy it like that. Do this for another creature. Healing is good. And it's time for killing. Alright! Oh, that guy still had Wind Fury, didn't it? I actually already won the game. It's a good thing my opponent conceded, because apparently I forgot that my guy attacks twice. That was maybe the most awesome and like the least stressful 6-2 game I've ever played. Because you know you're at 6-2, you're like, oh my god, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And then it was a Warlock. So that I really don't think that player was at 6-2. I really don't. And so I don't want to rig on him. I'm sure he's a fine person. You know, there's no shame in being a bad player. But just for educational purposes, the mistakes he made were first of all playing with like more than one corruption, because corruption is a bad card. And he also did some trades that you shouldn't do. So like if you know that your opponent's going to want to trade his creature for yours, don't do the trade. Hit your opponent. And if you know that you're about to play a taunt creature that would stop your opponent from doing a trade, then definitely don't. Okay, well this is tricky. Keeping too much removal is a little bit of a problem. Now this is the same guy, this is Eris style. Oh my gosh. Well, if he beats me now after I talked about how bad he is, I'll certainly be ashamed. But I think he had like a decent number of little creatures in his deck, so I don't really want to throw away Forked Lightning. But I don't want to have that much removal in my hand either. So what we're going to do is throw away this Earth Shock, which is a bit of a risk, and just keep my, turn 3, turn 4 play. Okay, so I picked up removal in place of the removal I mulliganed, which is okay, because if I had kept the other removal, I would have had too much removal in my hand. And this will be a really good test of my opponent's skill. I may have underestimated him, because I have a really slow draw. I have totem, this, and this. Alright, here's where I'd love to have my axe, and this is a game where I do not have my axe. I could coin out the Imp Master, which would put stuff that can trade with this guy, but I really don't want to use my coin that way. What we're going to do is just make a totem. It is likely that he'll want to kill my totem, and actually, since I got the 1/1 totem, that's great. That means I lucked out, and I can just kill this guy that way, which is pretty efficient. Ah, the YOLO Bomber. Okay. That was not good. Well, no, that's not, you know what, okay, let me tell you something. If you play with the Mad Bomber and you don't make plays like that, then you're playing Mad Bomber wrong. Now, what I'm actually going to do is coin out this. And see here, I don't want to run my guy into his Bomber because his Bomber is prevented by my Taunter. Even a Shadow Bolt or a Soulfire will not kill my Shield Master. So this is a real roadblock for my opponent. Alright, let's see what he's got. Demon Fire. So that was a straight 2-for-1. He played 2 cards to kill one of mine. And he didn't have anything else to do. He had 2 mana left. He should have drawn a card. Yeah, this is not a good player. Now the sad thing is I can't actually play Windspeaker here, but what I can do is play this and start building up my Imp collection. This might be very short-lived because I did see a Hellfire from my opponent last game. The Windspeaker tragically, first of all, doesn't have any targets, and second of all, dies to Hellfire. So this is a very, very slow draw for me. I have all this removal. I drew back my Earth Shock. Alright, do I actually care about that? Well, the answer is yes, because I'd love to play my Frostwolf Warlord. But I mean, I might want to silence something later. Then again, I have, other removal here. I've got this guy, and I've got this Lava Burst. Yeah, I think I'd like to press my advantage. Let's silence that. I don't feel any particular urge to hit it. The Warlock does have ways to use that thing. I'm gonna actually... that would just die to Hellfire. And this has no good targets. Okay, we're just gonna put that another totem out. The Warlock does have good uses for it. Power Overwhelming, would make it a one-time 4 damage thing. But I'm okay with that. Alright, so he's got the Hellfire. Most of what he killed was just the 1 Imp Master and a bunch of totems. And he drew after playing, which is never good. So, I don't want to put down my Frostwolf Warlord because it can die. And I don't have enough mana to make it and a totem. I don't want to do this because I'm wasting the damage on something useless, and I can't do this. So this draw has been all around bad for me this game. So what I am going to do, though, is hang on to this. This has no good targets. Oh my gosh. You know what? This is a bit frivolous, but I still have a Lava Burst. And I think that the advantage of putting something on the board is worth the disadvantage of slightly underutilizing his power. If he plays something giant, I mean, I've got a decent answer here. Siphon Soul is a very good answer. That did cost all of his mana, though, so I'm fine with it. And let's see here. I can finally play this and a totem to make it a 5/5, which would be a little bit resistant to his removal. I think actually I'm going to do that. So next turn I can like Wind Fury. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That seems fine. He can of course still kill it. Warlocks have things that will kill it. Like again, Mortal Coil because this is a 1/1, and then Shadow Bolt or Soulfire will do the trick. For that matter, Shadow Bolt and Mortal Coil could just kill it directly, but that wouldn't be as good. But I'm willing to take that risk because I have a bunch of creatures to play now, so I should be okay. Ah, good use of the Elven Archer there. If he has Shadow Bolt or Shadow Flame or Mortal... Oh my god, really? Corruption.
They'll never know what.
Oh my god, this is... Oh my gosh. So you don't want to play the Nightblade right here because... Okay, so many things happening here. I can't... I'm just like talking over myself. Okay, first of all, Corruption is a bad card. One of the reasons why it's a bad card is your opponent gets to use the creature that you corrupted knowing it's going to die. And one of the things that your opponent can do with that creature is kill a creature you just played. So anytime you play Corruption, it's like a really cheap removal spell, but you don't get to take the advantage of the cheap removal because you can't play stuff down, and you can't play stuff down because your opponent still has that creature and can just kill whatever you place. So what we're going to do is play it a little bit slow. Let's play this. And let's play this. And... I'm actually going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to use up my mana here. Although next turn I can actually play this and the Flame Tongue. Yeah, let's actually put the Flame Tongue down now. It's a little bit risky, but whatever. It's fine. There are a couple ways he could kill it. He could do this plus Demon Fire, for example. Or just Shadow Bolt or Shadow Flame. Bane of Doom. Deal 2 damage to a character. Summon a random demon. Alright, he got a pretty good random demon. It will trade with my guy. So that was like a kind of 2-for-1. He killed a totem, but he got a demon out of it. Why did he kill that totem? He killed my spell power totem. He should have killed my flame tongue totem. Oh my gosh, this is very difficult to watch. Okay, so my guy's gonna die. I would like to kill his succubus, but it's really basically all the same. What I could do is I could give it Wind Fury, which quote-unquote wastes its power, but at the same time... Oh, I could also play this. Wow. Well, the problem is it might hit the Elven Archer. Gosh, this seems like a really good time for it, though. Alright, I got a little bit lucky there. I think it's better to kill his creature than to deal damage to his face. With mana left over... Let's go ahead and just play the Yeti. And giving it Wind Fury is a little bit risky, but my opponent's already played a bunch of removal. He's played a Corruption. He's played a Demon Fire. He's, played stuff. Again, I put my guy on the wrong side of the Flame Tongue Totem. If he doesn't kill it, though, he's just going to lose, because this is like 12 damage, plus this is another 5 damage. And alright, that doesn't really make a difference. Okay. Well, let's do a quick bit of counting here. So this will allow my guy to take out the Taunter. Then we will deal 14 damage. 15 damage. Yep, that's game.
Behold the might of Stormwind! I don't have enough mana.
Oh, I'm overloaded! Oh my god, I forgot I was overloaded. That's twice now in this arena. I forgot I was overloaded. Well, anyway, it's very unlikely my opponent will be able to deal with that. I mean, that was about the best play I could have hoped for, and he's still dead. He should have drawn cards before playing things. You got the little cute minion over here bug. My guy's still alive. Alright. Okay, now he's dead. Okay, there we go. Good times. Anyway, back to the action here. This has been a very illustrative game for me. I am almost positive my opponent was not at 6-2 when I played him. Simply because if he had been, I would have knocked him out of the arena and he wouldn't have played me again. And I'm really sure he wasn't at 7 wins, given the low quality of the cards he was playing and the mistakes that he was making. So this seems to show that even when you're at 6 wins, you could be playing somebody much farther down in the arena. I mean, that guy had to be I can't imagine that deck going above 3 wins. Maybe 4 with a little bit of luck. So actually, I complained in an earlier video that I always end up playing someone who beats me twice, but I never get to play twice against someone who I crush, and I can no longer make that complaint because I crushed the heck out of that guy, and I got to play him twice in a row. Good thing I clicked the play button super fast. So this is definitely something to save for later. This is a good turn 5 play, but I would like to do even better. Against a hunter with buzzards and stuff, I'm glad to have this in my early hand. This removal could be handy, although there's not that much that it would really matter against since I have this axe. Dream for me would be for him to coin out a buzzard. That would just be the dream.
Greetings, traveler.
Because I don't care about the overload on this since I have nothing to do on the next turn anyway. Alright, getting lots of late game cards here. Next turn I can just totem, and the turn after that I can play Shield Master, which actually is a really good turn 4 play. He has no plays for turn 2, or he's wisely holding them back because he has things that just die. Kids, never play a Naked Flame Tongue Totem. And don't waste your weapon charges. Against the Hunter, of course, it is a little bit risky to be using this, but I think I'll be alright, especially because he got off to a pretty slow start. Alright. Little does he know that's about to die. Or is it? I could just put this down and, let it hang out. More aggressive would be to use the Flame Tongue Totem and throw away my spell power. More aggressive would be to Earth Shock, and then use the axe to finish it off. All are interesting possibilities. If I Earth Shock, it really does take the wind out of my sails because I can't play this engine. So if I play this, what's the worst that could happen if I'm playing against a Hunter and he's at 4 mana? Multi-shot, and then we trade. Who let the dogs out, and it dies? Oh, then Earthshock will kill it. I have nothing for 5 mana at the moment anyway. Okay. I feel like it's just better to kill it, though. You play a Hyena so that when it dies, it gives him... Yeah, you know what? We're gonna kill him. Do I want to play a Flame Tongue Totem? Yeah, we're gonna kill him like this. Not 100% certain that was the best play, but it's the play I made. Keeping control of the board here. Multi-shot kills both my things. One of them's not quote-unquote real because it's just a totem. This already did its job, killing that bear. He's spending his whole turn doing it. Okay, it's totally fine. He spent his whole turn to do that, so I have the initiative. I get to make the play. This is a pretty good play to make on an empty board. Very solid. Next turn I can Fire Elemental and kill something. I mean, I can deal up to 5 damage with it. Or if he doesn't do anything, I can charge it. Okay. Pretty good answer. He's coining out something now. What's it gonna be? That. Alright, my weapon doesn't quite kill it. But, yeah, it's perfect use for Fire Elemental, I think. I'm really comfortable doing that, because it puts a creature on the board, and I have stuff. I mean, I got a Charger, which can kill things, I have Rockbiter, which can kill things, Lava Burst kills things, Earth Shock kills things, and I have a 6/5 on the board, so I think that was totally worth it. You can really run into trouble playing with these powerful cards, waiting too long for, like, the perfect time to do something. It's just not worth it. Alright, lots of ways to kill this. Lava Burst is the safest way. That would give me 6 mana next turn, which is not enough to play the Assassin. Could, of course, trade. I really don't think that's the best play. Rockbiter weapon, though. That seems like the way to do it, because then I can play the Charger and start to be aggressive. So we're going to Rockbite it up. Gonna play I'm Flying. And, yeah, it's great. Do I win next turn? Let's see. I have Bloodlust here. If he doesn't play a taunt or anything. What is this? 11 plus 6 is 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I win next turn if he doesn't play a Taunter or kill any of my creatures. I'd love for him just to play like a War Golem here. Ah, he's going to get a kill. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. That was pretty much all of his mana, though. Let's see. If I play this, it can get actually kind of big. If I play this, I'm in really good shape. Oh, wow. Let's see, if I deal damage, it goes down to 13. I play this. If Bloodlust, it's a guaranteed 10. Plus that. Yeah, actually, I think this is the best way to maximize my odds of winning. Put this guy in stealth. Attack. He's got outs, for sure. A Taunter, of course, would do the trick. Deadly Shot could do the trick. I think I'll just attack him now while I have the chance. This does sort of give away that something is up, because there's no reason to do 2 damage if these guys deal 13 damage. That could be a taunter. It is not a taunter, and he's got only 5 mana left. Alright, he needs to play taunt or it's over. That needs to be a taunt or it's over. Ah, it's a taunt. Well, actually, he still needs to kill this thing or it's over, because I only need the Ravenholt Assassin. So he needs 1 source of point of damage. He needs like an Arcane Shot or a multi-shot. Oh my gosh! He was hoping for a Leok. I see. He could have lived if this had been Leok, and then he could have killed this guy. Okay. Ah, he traded both of his guys into my guy. Okay, fair enough. Well, actually I still win, because Epic Earthshock here silences that creature. Remember, kids, always look for the win. And Lava Burst. Lava Burst, oh my god, such a good card. Alright, so we have another 9-win arena. You know, folks, let this be a lesson. Never lose heart. Never ever lose heart. I mean, I like lost 4 arenas in a row, but you know what? This, I just felt like on top of the world. So let's see what our prize is. I have been losing a lot of gold. I've been hemorrhaging gold, you could say. I would really like for this to not be one of those 0 gold arenas, but you know what? I'll take it if it is. Pack always on the top, it seems. 150 gold, alright. 40 gold, solid. 100 gold, oh, I'm in the money. This is at 2 arenas entry fees here. 70 dust. I gotta say this, I don't mind getting dust, because when you get those quests that are like win X games with class X, it's nice to be able to craft some of the key commons. Like, I had today the quest for win 2 games with Hunter, and I got to do that really quickly because I had the dust from arenas to make some buzzards, you know, to add a little bit of oomph to my deck. So I don't mind getting dust. I'd rather get gold, but dust is totally fine. Mortal Strike, okay, that's not super great. That's fine to have. When would you ever play this card? Like, seriously, when would, like, if you have like 2 Shield Masters in your deck already, and you like need more taunt for some reason, that's the only time I could see it happening. Well, to be fair, this is the only secret of a paladin that I can really see myself playing, so I guess it's good that I got the good one golden. Ooh, really great card. That's awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do then is... I can disenchant something for 10 more dust. Alright. What we're going to do is pay the entry fee for the next arena. See who I'm going to have. That's a good feeling. After paying my entry fee, I still have more money than I had before I paid the last arena's fee. Alright. Oh, wow, this is interesting. Well, I definitely don't want to play Hunter. I feel really uncomfortable playing those. Rogue would be nice, but I've never played Priest before, so that's going to be the decision next time. Alright, folks, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Papa Boris's Hearthstone Arena Action. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and or subscribe, and check out my Twitch channel if you'd like, and I'll be happy to see you next time.